With incredible new features.
It's incredible display.
With incredible new capabilities, there's a device that's incredibly powerful. iPhone 15 is absolutely incredible.
That feels incredible. iPhone 15 has an incredible chip.
Are truly incredible.
It delivers the most incredible photos and videos. Titanium is incredibly strong and durable. Now, to tell you more about this incredible titanium design,
providing incredible durability for iPhone that joins these two metals with incredible high strength.
with the incredible versatility, the precious memories you capture on iPhone look incredible when viewing. We also have incredible offers from Apple, incredible new camera systems,
An incredible camera system, which is why we're so excited for you to begin using these incredible new devices.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's Saturday morning here. Saturday, what is the date today? The 30th of September here in little old Kahuna. It's a nice sunny day out there already. And this morning we're talking about some incredible stuff. But I've brought these two incredible people here. Dale Lotherington. Dale Lotherington.
Sunny my aunt. Howdy.
and Greg the Canadian. What are you doing? How long have you been planning that for?
It's actually, there's not a cloud in the sky here, to be honest with you.
Not Patrica already on the iPhone bandwagon, bashing. How are we, fellas?
Yeah, pretty good today. Incredible, one would say.
Incredible. Thank you, Greg. How you doing?
I'm doing really well.
What are you doing? What is that? It's like we bought a 3-year-old.
Look what the iPhone can do now.
Actually, this is the Mac.
Yeah, one day iPhone will get there.
When you update to macOS Sonoma, you will be able to do the same thing.
Well, that's a reason to do it.
No, it's these reactions that they put into when you got the camera on, and it just, if I just went like this, it'll pop it up.
Wow, that's incredible.
Or if I went like this,
incredible.
Whoa!
Wow!
Look at you. I thought the sun was shining out of your ass for a minute then.
No, this is what happens when that happens.
Oh, all right. Now that's fixed. We'll just take you out of the equation.
Oh, yeah, so I gotta have something to do.
So
okay,
thank you,
Devo,
for putting that incredible little montage together. I'll be using that in my iPhone 15 to S23 Ultra comparison video. They're not cookies, they're brownies. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were talking about it in our admin group about how many times I said incredible, and then Devo, being the deviant that he is, he just put this together. The amount of stuff that he puts together and finds snippets, especially of this bloke on a video, and then just add stuff, is pretty funny. he'll put something in the group chat, and I'll play it, and I'm like, that's my voice. Hold on, what the hell? When did I say that? And I'm thinking that's in a video back then. So anyway, we're here today to talk about the iPhone.
Touch the nut, you can feel it going left to right.
Oh dear, oh dear. So
I'm gonna get banned.
Demonetized.
There's been a bit of talk around. I don't really go into the whole. I don't go looking for shit on the internet about the new phones and stuff. I just get it and then use it and do a video or videos about what I think about it, like what I have found with it. And somebody posted on our group saying something about, can you try recording in 4K 60 FPS or something like that, and then charging with not an Apple charger or something. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Then I went and had a look online and found all these people are apparently having all these overheating issues, and I hadn't experienced anything. And then somebody was talking about it was Instagram on the app, Instagram on the phone, and that causes overheating. And then I've heard that it's all to do with roaming, not roaming, but like searching for signal and stuff, and that causes overheating. And hand on heart, I've not had an issue, and I do all of those things like every day. I use a wireless charger. You know, it's not an Apple one. It's just I think it's like Belkin or something. It's the same one I've used for the last few years, and it charges it fine and doesn't do any overheating issues. And I use Instagram every day, and again, I don't have any overheating issues. I was telling these two guys before we went on to live that I can walk out my back door, walk 20 meters that way, and I'm on 3G, and 20 meters this way, I'm on 4G, all with 1 or 2 bars, and then walk 20 meters that way and get no signal. So my phone's always searching for signal, and I haven't had it overheating ever. Dale, you've got the same phone, I think, as I do.
Yeah, exact same phone. I live in a city, so I get 5G, 4G. I've never had a problem. Never.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never overheated, never got warm.
Yeah. In the chat here, anyone have this phone and have issues with it? I got the no overheating issues here on my 15 Pro Max. There you go. So, I don't know. I tell you what, do you watch Peter Lingman on YouTube? Do you know who I'm talking about? He makes YouTube creator content, teaches you how to like make videos and how he does all his B-roll and stuff like this. And but this Carl Bernard,
I may have seen him at some point, but I'm not sure.
He looks like him. He like that Carl's picture of this. I actually thought it was him for a minute there. Do yourself a favor, Carl. Go and have a look and look up Peter Lingman and I can't tell from your photo, but Peter Lingman is like jacked, like
Glenn Dewis jack,
like he on par. Yep, on par.
He's jacked.
Oh, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah. No issues at all. There we go. Thanks, Shane.
I did have it crash once, but I was a 30 degree hot day shooting clouds with even longer at single frame continuously. So, I mean, I had it coming. Yeah. In RAW.
I think with the cross pollinations of just you and pollination is probably not the right word. Just the spectrum of usage between yourself and myself. I think we cover all the bases of what should be causing this. And I haven't had it, and you haven't had it. Like the time lapses that you do is crazy, putting this thing hard at work.
Absolutely.
That's any phone. I think what you do is putting a lot of stress on that phone.
To shoot a raw one every second, like that's pretty heavy for a phone for minutes, hours, maybe.
Now that's an issue for some bloody dedicated cameras. I think with what you're doing, the environment that I live in, I shoot a lot of video on this phone, and I just haven't had it. I've never had it overheating.
One thing I've heard is...
Yeah, sorry, Greg, go.
Yeah, one thing I've heard is that some of these phones are made with components from different places. And, I think it has something to do with maybe that. Like, maybe it's a hardware issue, or some of them are, have certain components that are susceptible to this heating issue. Either that, or it's just a flat-out software thing. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to pinpoint because, everybody's got a completely different set of apps on their phones. And, there was that Instagram issue where the guy put a heat gun on it, and you could see the temperature climb as he had Instagram open. And it climbed about 6 or 7 degrees Fahrenheit, in the minute maybe that he showed it. It was just ridiculous.
6 or 7 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
That's kind of bugger all, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's enough just by having an app open and not doing anything.
Isn't
there was no other apps open?
Okay. I haven't seen that video.
Like it might have been more than that. I forget. It might have been like 10 degrees for all I know. I can't remember.
Oh, okay,
It started at 88 degrees Fahrenheit and it went up to either the high 90s or it might have hit 100. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a significant climb within a minute or a minute or two. Yes, but I know Celsius, but the guy, I was at the mercy of watching his video.
Both Shane and I are just doing calculations in Celsius.
It's like, hold on, that's not very much. That's like leaving your beer out on top of the esky for like 10 minutes, and it's like this has warmed up a little bit. It's not that much. It's still drinkable.
I'm still drinking.
Well, I mean, who knows how far it could have climbed, right? Like it's if you left it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever.
Sure. But I just haven't. I haven't had a single issue with this phone yet.
No.
And I remember when I first did videos with this sucker, and I was so disappointed with what it was doing with Astro, and then a software update fixed that. But with this, everything's just worked straight out of the box. I've been pretty bloody happy with it. Just go through some of these comments. Good on you, Kenneth. S21 Ultra. You should be able to get some good bloody photos of that. Same here. No issues with overheating. Might be a little warm if you're playing games.
That's kind of expected, though.
Yeah, you could expect it.
Any console or PC will do the same. That's why they have fans of them that rev up.
Yep. It'll be fine. Do you actually use this for games, though?
No, I don't.
Are you a gaming person?
Yeah, on the computer, not on the phone. I don't see the point in it. I think it's a bit limiting.
Yeah.
I have in the past with little controllers that you can connect to them, but it's a novelty thing. I think it's big in some countries. Like I think in China and Japan, it would be really big because they don't really have computers. They use their phones all the time.
Yeah, okay. Because I looked at it when they were doing the launch. I'm like, who does that? Like, if you've got a console game that you can play on a console, why would you play it on a phone? Well, especially with my eyes, I'll be like, where am I shooting this guy? He's way down there.
Well, this is where they'll say they USB-C, plug it into a monitor, plug it into the control of Bluetooth. This is where they'll convert it into a computer.
Yeah. That USB-C thing, there was a guy, I might share it on the group when I get off here. He did, he's not a big channel, but his content's actually quite entertaining and insightful. He did a video all about how to use the USB-C port on this phone and different things that you can do with it. And I was blown away. I was like, I never thought of doing that. I never thought of doing that. I'll put it in the Facebook group when we're finished. It was really interesting. He had so much shit hanging off the back of this USB-C port and it was all working. I thought that's pretty bloody impressive, you know. I have a double. I don't know what that means. It's funny when we read the comments when we're live, I kind of go back in our conversation and go, what's he referring to? But I can't think of that one. Andy Green.
That is correct.
On the money, mate. Yeah. I've got the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It suddenly gets warm in a way that's unusual, but not any kind of heat that would make me concerned for the device. Do you have a cover on your phone, Ron? This, I initially thought maybe it's because I've got the cover on the phone that I'm not feeling any heat, and then I took it off and just used it for a couple of days, and I still didn't have any. But I'm curious.
Risky.
I know, right? You should have seen it. The first probably, I don't know, it was about 4 or 5 days. I didn't have a cover, so when I was shooting videos, I was like, oh, it was kid gloves. I tell you, I was like.
Do you not use your old case? You can still fit it with the 14, kinda. Like it
I didn't actually try it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because when I went from the 13 to the 14, the case fit, but the buttons were slightly different, just so you could make some more spondula off the new phone. Thanks, Apple.
Yeah.
So I didn't even try it, to be honest. Yeah. Greg, I remember folks at the moment saying they had different performance of their lenses with phones coming from different production lines. this is not a an Apple thing only. I remember when I got my first Android for the channel, it was like the S21 Ultra, I think. It would have been 21. And I just had really subpar results compared to what some other people were getting. And then they're like, what processor are you using? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's the same fucking phone. Why should they be different? And they were. And this is the similar sort of thing, I guess, if parts are being made in different places.
And I think the biggest thing right now is that, let's just say they put 50 million of these things out there, and 2,000 of them are having this issue. Well, you hear about the 2,000. You don't hear about the 48, 49 million, whatever, that are not having the issue. Right?
I want to hear the math on that.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to hear the math on that?
No, I'll just mess with you.
49 million.
The loud minority. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You know what? Like it's bound to happen, especially because everybody wants to pick on Apple. Right? I mean, everybody wants to pick on them, and it happens every freaking year. There's always something with these new phones, like whether it's the way it renders a person's face or the battery gate. There's always something. And right now it's the heating issues, and some of them may be experiencing it, but it's probably a very small number of phones. I mean, very small.
Some of the what would you call it, the funny sort of clips, the it's done purely from a comedy point of view of some of the satire that people have done with the new Apple phone. It's freaking hilarious. Like some of it's just amazing. Like, we've been working 12 months to bring you the exact same thing. It's like, so it's pretty funny. Fairchild Music. Is this a friend of yours, Dale?
No, I don't know.
No, this is like an army thing. When I was in the army, and people would say, "Hey, do you know my brother? His name's Steve. He's in the army. And I'm like, has he got a short haircut and wears camouflage?" Yes. This guy's a music person. He's a muso. You must know him. I read that 55% of these nanometer chips in the new Pro phones pass. What? There's perhaps some bad ones are sneaking through. Oh, maybe.
Could be.
Maybe. Yeah. Could well be. You said I look like someone. I have a look like. You do.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find it now.
Have you guys had that moment quite yet where you plug the wrong charger in, plug the lightning cable in, going, damn it?
I have when I hopped in my car to put it onto Apple CarPlay. I was like, got to go inside and find a cable.
I know. Yeah. Keep finding things that are like little adapters. Oh, it's a lightning. Oh, damn it.
And I remember when I did that for the car, I've come and I've gone, oh, I need a USB-C cable. And do you think I could find a USB to USB-A to USB-C cable? I've got all USB-C to USB-C. I'm like pulling I've got that many freaking USB-C to USB-C cables, but my car is USB-C or USB-A.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be running into.
I'm just going to see if I didn't actually check if I could share my screen before we came on. I normally do. Yes. This is Peter Lingman. Oh, I need a better look at his face here. See, it's him.
Oh yeah, I think I might have seen him on there before.
Just 12 months in the gym, and you'll be a perfect lookalike.
Exactly the same, mate. Exactly the same. When I first started the channel, I'd get all these messages. Well, no, I shouldn't say get all. I got a few messages, comments on videos going, "You look like," I want to say Steve Austin, but I might be wrong. He's like a wrestling guy.
Oh yeah, Stone Cold.
And I went and Googled it, and I'm like, nope, don't see it, not a chance. And I could spend 3 years in the gym and still not look like that bloke. Not console games, Monopoly Go, Clash of Clans. I don't know what that one is. Monopoly, I'm guessing, is just Monopoly. No need to play on. I agree. But I get where you're coming from too, Dale. It's probably big in Japan, as you say. There's actually a YouTube channel called Big in Japan. ESR. What's ESR? I'm not sure. Devo. As soon as I see that little avatar come up, I know there's going to be gold coming. And here comes the banned man version 2.0. Banned all the time. Don't get me started on Apple, please. Hey, it's got a 5x zoom, Patrica. Oh, so everybody, I showed Dale the preview before we went live. I got an epic photo of the moon last night with the super moon with the 5x zoom. Are you ready? You ready, Greg? I haven't showed you this yet. Tell me that's not good. But if I tilt the phone a little bit and change, look, see that definition right there.
It's one of those 3D photos where you got to look at it from an angle and it comes to life.
Yeah.
But I must admit, there's quite a few photos that I've seen out on Dale. You've done some of it. The redheaded fella from the UK, he's done some the 5x zoom, and I think it's pretty impressive.
It's really good.
Yeah. 5G is faster on iPhone 15. I have no idea. What is with this guy's name?
Apple, Samsung.
Yeah.
Maybe he has one of each.
There's a foot in each camp. I've got multiples of each. Apple, Samsung's. Apple's, Samsung. I don't know. It's going to hurt my head if I think about it more. What's everyone's favorite? I don't use that, to be honest, because my phone lays flat when I'm charging it. What about you? Actually, you're both using iOS 17.
Yeah. The action button, well, that's not an iOS 17. That's more of an iPhone 15.
That's a phone-specific thing, yeah.
It's a phone-specific thing. iOS 17.
Yeah. Great.
I do like standby mode. It is nice. I have a MagSafe charger that I stick my phone on right beside the bed. And the nice thing about it is the screen goes off, but if it senses you moving, it just comes on a real dim red. You can see the clock, and then it goes out again. Yeah.
See, just for that alone, I think I'm going to have to get a new charger, just so I can have.
But is it worth keeping it on charge all night long? I know it trickle charges, but
well, if you use the optimized charging, it'll charge to 80%, and then if it knows that you're going to be getting up in a couple hours, it'll top itself up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you never have to worry about leaving it on the charger all night.
Yep.
Not really.
I've charged my phones overnight forever and ever. The iPhone, the 14 Pro Max, I had it on, I treated it exactly the same. It got charged every night. Earlier in the piece, I would charge every couple of days just to see what the battery was doing. But it's got nothing to do with the phone or the battery. It's just the way that I've done things, and I just put on charge every night. And that battery there is at 99% health still. So I don't know. I've been using that since it came out. I think it's fine charging it overnight.
Why didn't anyone say stickers?
Far out. It's a bit of an inside joke for you guys, except for Devo. He's the only other one in here that knows. And when they, so we've got this was it iMessage group? Is that right, Greg? Is that what you'd call it? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, someone's like, so Devo has this habit of going through pretty much every video that I put out, and he'll bring out like a frame of me doing something. So there's one of me doing this, and I don't. Now I'm at the point where I'm editing a video, and I go, "Oh, he'll get that," and so he'll pull something out of that, and I'll just leave it in there. No one else will really even notice it, but he will. Like the bee's dick thing, and me doing this. iMessage chat, It's just full of stickers. I'll see if I can pull it up in here. I don't think you guys have done anything that people shouldn't be okay with.
I mean, if you're on iOS 17 and you use FaceTime on your phone, you can do that. I know. It's
So,
one of those.
Dale, do you have like every second Saturday morning free? Because I'm going to need a new co-host for the show. I'll see if I can share this so you can see what I'm talking about. Window. I don't know if it will. It's sharing message screen, but no, it may not. No, it's not going to.
Privacy potentially.
Could be. I'll do this though. So, should we talk about? Let's just quickly go through the. Well, that's still on my screen. It will remind me. Should we just go through the rest of the comments here? Does it have a better antenna?
Who knows, right?
I get service where I used to get service, and I don't get service where I didn't get service before. So I haven't noticed any difference with that. To answer your question, I can see the resemblance. Yep, I'm with you. First started the channel 5 years ago. Oh, his channel. Did you actually know that Devo had a channel? No, he doesn't. He doesn't spruik it very much. It's I'm pretty sure it's a gaming channel, and he told me one time that he used my voice in his videos, and my voice is actually at the beginning of the couple of videos, or maybe just one I saw, where because I used to pronounce his name Devo as in devastated, and then he's pointed out to me how to say it, and I've at the beginning of his videos it's like Devo. Again, hearing my voice out of context, hearing my own voice. It's a brand of case. That ESR is a case. Gotcha. Thanks, Maurice. Dan Kelly. He looks a little bit like Ned Kelly, don't you reckon, Dale?
Yeah. Got the beard, got the little...
The bushranger. Is that near you, is it, Greg? Actually, that's not near you, is it?
No, it's clear across the country pretty much.
Yeah. On a map, it's like this far. Devo, get that screenshot.
Okay, I have a thing I can share on the screen if you want to see the stickers.
I do. Yep, go for it. That's the same one. It's the same. I'm going to put a. How do I do that? Damn it. I was going to put up a screenshot, and the screenshot that I've taken is exactly that. That's funny. That's funny. But I've got the Napoleon Dynamite guy doing this thing just above it. Anyway, well, yeah. Why don't you have that? Or maybe you've done that again.
Hey?
Yeah, I've got the. Oh, maybe it's. I'm looking at a reply. I'm looking at a reply. Someone's replied to that further down. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter. Yes, but this is the sort of shit that we talk about in our little private. There we go. That guy.
Yeah.
Anywho, we'll get rid of that. At the end of the world, if the end of the world comes, iPhone users say they're 5 years behind on everything. Oh, gee, he's not very nice, is he?
Yet we invented it.
They just wait till they can do it right. That's all.
That's right. How's the fight? I think it's pretty good. I've done some video with it. So if you didn't get the very first time, I've used all these email addresses that I've been collecting for the last 3 years yesterday, because I sent out an email to it. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
See, Dale isn't. He hasn't subscribed. He hasn't subscribed to my mailing list.
Oh, come on, Dale.
Oh, you dog.
Where's my Elmer Bud sticker?
As of as of yesterday, I'm doing this gig full time for some reason. And one of the other channels, we've actually got bees. So on the Windella farm side, what we're doing there is trying to do pretty much everything on the farm. We're trying to be, I won't say self-sufficient, but sort of self-sufficient. We're growing our own food, and we pulled a tree down a few weeks ago and had bees in it. We knew it had bees in it, but when we cut it down, the hive maintained, and I built a beehive, and I was using the 5x zoom video to record some of the bees, and it's the shit. It works really, really well. So yeah, the stabilization, I think, is the biz.
I have seen a YouTuber, I don't know who it was, I've been watching so many of the darn things, where they said the stabilization on the 5x on the iPhone is actually better than the 10x on the, say, the S23 Ultra, because when you zoom 10x, I mean, you know, it's so hard to hold things stable, right? But with the sensor shift and like the 3-axis stabilization on that 5x in the iPhone, apparently it does a really, really good job.
Yeah, it really does. I'll send you a video of it later, Greg, if I remember. But yeah, it works incredibly well. I might be able to show you on here. Yeah, so this is that's handheld. Obviously, I don't get up nice and close with the bees, but then it's probably moving a bit too much because my hands are moving. But looking on the screen there, it's like still.
Come on, the One Excellence is sharper. Get in there. 3 beers later.
It must. I think it might have even been on the other phone. Oh no, it wouldn't, because I did some photo. I think I sent them to you guys, didn't I? On that. There we go. There's the macro on that.
Oh yes.
Come on, wake up.
Oh yeah, good sir.
It's like cool. It's very sharp. I'm really impressed with it. Standby mode is pretty cool. See, this is why we should go through comments earlier, because that was a part of the conversation 5 or 6 minutes ago. Yes, it stays on as long as it's connected to. Yes, and landscape orientation. That's the standby mode bit that we was talking about there.
Yep.
That's the most important thing. 5x zoom is a joke. I don't think anybody with the iPhone would be going, I'm so happy they didn't go 10x. I would like to have seen 10x. And it's one of these things that look, you're kind of making the point for me there from a video that we did a little while ago with Apple users not bagging Android users too much and Android users bagging Apple a fair bit. But Apple make it too bloody easy to bag them a bit, I think, in some cases. Like this, like the 5x zoom. The moon photo that I showed before, that's a perfect example of this. I've seen it. Did you have something, Dale?
Oh, they've got enough room to add another camera. Come on, a 4th camera, a 10x.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just add it on there.
Some people will say, and I've seen it on Twitter or what's it fucking called? X, that photographers don't want 10x zoom, but I disagree with that. Like I look on, there's some Samsung Facebook groups, Samsung photography Facebook groups, and it's absolutely a thing. Or Android photography groups, it's absolutely a thing where people are showing. It might not be like I'm going to print these things and put it on the wall, but they're showing like this is what it looks like at ultra wide, and this is what it looks like at 100x zoom. And like you're looking at this landscape, you can't even see what it's about to zoom into, but when they zoom into it, there's like a building, a group of buildings and cars and stuff. It's really quite cool, and people are absolutely using this, and the iPhone is just not there. As Patrika likes to say, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Love the stickers and audio. Yeah, good on you. He just likes it because he takes a piss out of me. Oh, you don't. This is, so I probably didn't explain that very well. This is for the Facebook group that we have. Room for more than 4. Someone's talking about it right now. The group that I'm talking about here is the admin group of the Facebook page, the admin people of that. Did you see what he just said? what he sent on iMessage just then? What Devo sent? I don't know if you guys saw it.
I got it on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
Yeah,
but you don't really get onto that group, mate. It's just the admins of the group. It started off with absolute good intentions of discussing the administration of the group. But let's be honest,
the last thing we talk about.
Yeah. But to be totally fair and honest, Devo just does it, and like my name's on the group, but he's the one who does it all. I couldn't even tell you the last time I approved someone to join the group. I just get like notifications when I log on to Facebook occasionally. Such and such wants to join as requested to join. I go in there. It's already done. Someone's done it. It's always Devo. I don't know if you guys do it, but
I actually do it a lot.
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah. Credit where credit's due. Everyone else is doing everything in this group except for Shane. That's what's happening. Dear.
Yeah, it's over 3,000 people now.
I just spent bloody a minute and a half discussing, telling everyone, and Devo, yep, it's stupid o'clock in China. But it's stupid o'clock twice a day. You know what I mean? No, yours. I don't know what that's referring to. Someone said they've been watching for 5. Yeah. When you join, see, we do discuss admin things in that group. Because that was he'll post screenshots of when people just blatantly lie or have got no idea when they're answering the questions. Because the YouTube channel's only been going for 3 years, but someone said they've been watching me for 5 years.
To that point, explain that when the people ask to join, they have to answer these questions, right? And one of them is, how long have you been a subscriber to your channel? Yeah.
And I'll bet they've been watching for 5 years. And then it turned into a whole, this guy's stalking Shane for 2 years before he started the channel. It is pretty funny, but it's just the admins. That's all, dude. Really impressed with the 5x zoom. Looking forward to admin on the looking forward to trying out Macro 2 coming from 12 Pro. You'll definitely get it. It's definitely better. Everything around it is. What does full-time YouTubing look like during a typical day? It's pretty much the same as what it does on what was a weekend before. So
it's like when you're in school, except you're out at recess every time, all day.
but you work at recess every time.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah. So when I was finishing up on the farm on Thursday, all that week, the people that I work with are like, "Aren't you excited?" I'm like, "No, I don't like hate my job or anything. I quite like working on the farm. In fact, I'll go back and help him when he's doing hay and stuff. Like in the really peak busy times, I'll go there for a day or two here and there and give him a hand. But it's not like I didn't enjoy doing what I was doing. But I've been recording stuff for that third channel, the Havercrack channel, the four-wheel driving stuff, and I've been recording that for like the last 2 months, I'd say. And I've got a few videos there. I've only launched 3, I think, but there's still a couple more there. So I've got some in the bank in case something happens. But I'm doing a couple of things that I didn't really explain very well in the email or in the Facebook post. One of them is this channel here we're going to go back to doing what we were doing in the beginning, back when it was cool, when I was doing 2 videos every week, and it was in your face all the time. And I think that, especially in the beginning, I think it was inspiring people to go and try it, and that's what I enjoy about doing this. Is especially in the beginning, I was trying different apps to do different things, and I was doing what Dale's doing right now. I was pushing the phone beyond what I thought it was capable of doing with the Astro, and other phones were doing it, absolutely, but the iPhone certainly wasn't known to do it, and I think we've come a long way in that. But to do it full time, it gives me the ability to go back and do 2 videos again every week. All in all, there'll be 10 videos every week that I'm making. That's a lot of work. So it's not like it's recess. But on top of that, I still do my photography gig. So I'm still shooting weddings. I'm still doing corporate work. There's still farm work here that we have on our own farm. So there'll be 2 videos every week for this channel, and 7 videos a week for the Windella Farm channel. That's a lot of video.
Whoa.
Yep, a lot. 1 every day, and I'm going to do it for 6 months. And I'll explain more about that in a second. And the Have a Crack channel, the 4-wheel driving channel, that's 1 video a week is what I'll do with that. And I'm with that, the 4-wheel driving and camping channel kind of dovetails nicely into this channel, because most of what I do is during the evening, and I will go camping for that channel and record content, camping 4-wheel driving content for that channel. And at night, before I drink too much, I'll record content for this channel.
Or if you subscribe to my Patreon, you get to see the after beer content now. The Windella Farm one, there's something that I wanted to do for ages with this channel, and I couldn't really work out in my head a clear way to do it, and that was vlogging and storytelling. And I tried it for a couple of videos, and it didn't quite work, because this is more of an edutainment sort of a channel. Like, you learn something and hopefully you're entertained by it as well. Whereas the vlogging and the style of vlogging that I tried a couple of times here, I really enjoyed making it, and doing it every day is only going to build my skill set as a video content creator, because you're doing it all the time. The more you're doing it, the better you get. You can't do something over and over and over again and get worse at it. It's just, you can't. Watch this space. But so with the Windella Farm channel, it's going to be a daily vlog. And what I've been doing since Sarah and I discussed me pulling the pin on working for somebody else and doing this full time, every opportunity that I've got, I'm looking at a story and something that happens in my day. And when I first started doing it, I thought, this is actually quite hard to do. But the more that I looked at it from somebody else's point of view, who is not here on a farm in Australia, there's actually bucket loads. There's shitloads. There's so much that happens. That's a lot of conflict, whether it's like an actual thing that you go, how does this work? And then trying to work it out and nut it out and present that in a video, or conflict of an emotional sort of conflict. It's there all the time. It's there every day. So there's plenty of opportunity there for me to do it. So that's what I'll be doing. And that starts Monday. So yeah, you probably won't see me talking on the iMessage group anymore, because I'll be too busy. So that's what what's a typical day look like. I get up and shoot video. Then I go to bed.
Yeah. What's the minimum focus distance of macro? I don't know. It's pretty bloody close though.
I'd say it's within 2 centimeters.
Yeah. It's like that sort of distance. It's very, very close. Don't get me wrong, 10 times would be great one day, but how far do you go? Have a DSLR for long. Yeah, sure, but your DSLR doesn't play Angry Birds.
Yeah.
I used to think exactly this, to be fair, Carl. I used to think exactly this. I used to think, who the fuck uses 10 times zoom on a mobile phone? That's just ridiculous. And then that bloke, Patrika, he absolutely put me in my place, not by go, you idiot, this is what you do, but just by seeing his photos, then looking at the description, I'm like, this is 10 times zoom. These are amazing photos. I changed my mind on that. There's absolutely a place for this. And he's doing it. Almost everything that he shoots is at 10 times zoom with a Huawei, I think it is. So
I think he's P40 Pro, or unless he's on the P50 Pro by now, I'm not sure.
I've got a feeling he's P50.
Let us know, Patrika.
I've got a feeling it's P50 because I got P40. It's P60 now, I think. But anyway, he does. He does a bloody good job with it. I really do think now there's a space for it, especially as technology evolves, and it's always evolving. There's certainly a place for it. I think Samsung has shown and Huawei has shown that the 10 times zoom on a phone is certainly a workable thing. Currently using the 13 Pro Max. 13 does macro, pretty sure. Yep. And it would be. I was. Yeah. I knew that my local Apple guru would know this. Photographers totally, absolutely. You might be waiting a while, dude. 15 Pro Max handled the clarity of the skin in my vid. Clarity of the sky. I read that as skin. Sorry, mate. Yeah, and it is. I think it's definitely better. I really do. I'm really looking forward to in about 2 weeks' time. Maybe not even that. Maybe 1 week's time when the moon phase is a little bit different. I can actually capture the galactic core without any light pollution from the moon. Then, then I'll be excited. Yeah, but all the phone manufacturers just hate me and what I do on this channel. Let's release a phone on a full moon. Oh, yeah, and give you a 5 times zoom that you can't actually shoot the moon with. If you need more help, he just wants to bid on the jokes. I see where you're going. He has his own photography page. Share it here, mate. Share it. Devo drinking too much. Shameful. I don't think he's sober that often, that Devo fella. Sounds like full time. Full time means, yeah, absolutely. She's always happy. She's married to me. Which begs the question, guys, is it possible to the next 5-10 years of photography? No.
I just don't think so.
No. I've said so many times that with the professional work that I do with photography, I wholeheartedly believe I could go and shoot a wedding with that. Wholeheartedly believe it. The problem is, I used to shoot with Olympus, micro 4/3 cameras, like the sensor is quite small, so the cameras are quite small. And I'd go to weddings and I'd have all the pro lenses on these cameras, and people would look at like, oh, I thought you were a pro because it was small. And when people are paying you to go and do that sort of work, they're expecting the photo gear, the camera gear from like 10, 15 years ago, because it's like big, black, all white lenses, chunky things to take photos. And everyone that's here watching this, or you guys as well, you know that buying better shit doesn't make you the shit. If you're bad at your job, you're bad at your job. And the details that you can pull out of this compared to, say, the Olympus camera, for example, the low light performance in this and the low light performance in Olympus would be pretty bloody close. And so the end resulting image is going to be freaking close. But there's always going to be that psychological thing especially from a customer's point of view that, well, I've got the same phone. What do I need you for? So I think there's always going to be 100%. Yeah. What I've just described for the last 3.5 minutes of my monologue, Dale just nailed it with 3 words. Two words and a letter.
They don't have the experience, compositional mindset.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. We were talking about, I was out with some friends last night, and we we're talking about this neighbour of his that rides horses, and she must have some pennies because she'd ride a horse and the horse would do something like jump to the side from a branch falling or a leaf blowing or something, get startled by it, she'd hop off the horse and walk it the rest of the way. And then she'd sell the horse and buy another horse. And that horse would do something else. And she's done this with like a number of horses. And I'm like, the horse is playing you here. The horse knows that to get you off my back, all I've got to do is that, and you're going to get off, and I'm going to have an easier time of it. Buying a new bit of kit, a new horse in that case, doesn't make you a better horseman. It just makes you spend more money. Buying new camera gear or new phones or new lenses or whatever doesn't make you a better photographer. It just makes your wallet lighter. That's all. Is Dale on Insta?
Oh, yeah, I just shared it. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, did you? Where?
In the YouTube chat. In the YouTube chat.
Oh, YouTube chat. Right.
Yeah.
We don't do YouTube chat here. We just do it in here. The StreamYard. It goes everywhere. How's a 4K 30 in 40 and 60 frames against a Sony Ace? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't tried it. But I would imagine it's going to be better. The Sony is going to be better because the sensor's like this much bigger than the camera, than the phone. I don't know. Do you shoot with any other camera gear, Dale, or just the phones?
I just have the phone. I have never used a DSLR. Yeah.
Never used one?
Never used one ever.
Wow.
So one day I'll get it, and I'm sure it will be different.
Why would you get one? Why on earth? This is a very valid question. Like, why would you get one then?
It's a good point. Maybe to improve astrophotography at some stage, but you'd have to be selling quite a lot of prints to justify it.
Yep.
That's why. I mean, I did the same for music. When I was in music, I had endless of thousands of dollars worth of gear, and like you just said, it doesn't make you a better musician. Just makes your wallet lighter. It's my goal is to just try and push it as far as I can each year and get better and better and better until I can justify that.
Yep. You have a DSLR anymore, Greg, or not?
No, I sold it in 2016. And went all in.
Your memory is like an elephant. You know the dates and the models of everything.
It was 3:35.
It was slightly overcast. I was drinking coffee.
The barometric pressure was.
There we go. Go and check out Carl's Facebook page. Share it on our Facebook page too, mate, if you like. Happy to do that. With it up, VBs. Oh. God, who drinks VBs now? I shouldn't say that because plenty of people do. I just have bad memories, probably too many hangovers and just too much VB coming this way as well. Yeah. VBs, for those who aren't here, is a beer here in Australia, Victoria Bitter. And it's not good. What's your opinion on vertical grips? You talking about cages? Is that what you mean? If it's just for photography, mind you, I've got a cage on my A7, but that's more for protection if you drop it. And we're talking about two different things here. If it was videography that you were doing for corporate work, I don't think the phones have it there yet. For still photography, I think they do. I don't see any need to make anything bigger for photography. I've got a cage on mine just for, because I'm pretty rough with my gear when I'm working. I'll if it's for weddings, I'll usually have like a camera on either side of me, and they get banged around and knocked and everything. And so that's why I have a cage on it. But and it does look a little bit chunkier, but they're all mirrorless, so they're all a bit smaller anyway. So it's probably like the size of my old Canon 5Ds and stuff. Just downgraded from full frame Canon R. Oh, upgraded. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. See, this is if the iPhone had the 10 times zoom and you're able to digitally magnetize to say 30 times zoom, you may not even want that. There you go. Devo hasn't used DSLR either. Darkroom wasn't an app. Man, he is so old.
Probably not as old as me.
I'm old as dirt. You, man.
I'm old as dirt, remember?
Yep. There you go. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Actually, I think Graham's commented here a few times. I think I've seen his picture there before.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when I was running workshops in town, we would have like big events in town, and I might run a phone photography workshop for like, I don't know, 7 or 8 people at once, and we'd go around and I'd show a bit of storytelling with photography, and then show them a bit of editing and things like that. And the thing that I used to say to people is that phone photography now is where DSLR photography was probably 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Like the quality is on par, I think, between those two. Just that the phone just took a little bit longer to get there, but they're not equal now. But you can't change physics. That's just the way it is. But what Graham is saying there is absolutely on the money. Some of the best photos I've seen of weddings, a mate of mine who lives in Melbourne, Matt Crummins, he's a gun photographer. He's a photography instructor. He shot some weddings. He shot with Olympus. He's the guy who got me onto Olympus in the beginning. And one of the best photos I've seen of his, the quality of the photo wasn't that great. And this is the whole point of photography. And I think if someone like Rick Salmon was here, he would be agreeing with me on this. The quality of the image, when the story is epic in that photo, the quality doesn't matter as much. I think if you've got like the sharpest pinpoint quality photo, but the photo is of nothing, it kind of, I'd rather the one with a good story, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah. And
you can always fix it in post. Like, I mean, capture the moment, fix it in post if you need to.
Yeah.
The sacrifice.
Well, sometimes you can. Yeah. Well, actually, back then you probably couldn't. There weren't the tools that are around now that were around back then. So the Olympus, because it's a small sensor, and this was a really low light photo, but you could see people were having just so much fun in this photo. It was grainy as grainy could be, but because of the high ISO shooting on such a small sensor. But it was such a bloody good photo. And I remember Matt telling me this is my favorite wedding photo. And other photos that I've seen of his are just sensational, but the story in that photo, and you could tell just by looking at it, like people were having so much fun in this photo. Anyway, that was where I was going with Graham's comment there. Just started photography, had a hard time scoping out locations for AstroPix. I have not. What locations in the USA? There's a guy to follow, Russell Brown on Instagram. He goes to some pretty dark places in the States. He's a Adobe guy, and I reckon all through all the flyover states, you know, all in the guts of America, you're going to find some pretty dark places there. And that's where he will go to a lot of his photo shoots.
Just ask Ron Duvall.
Of course. Thanks, Greg. Ron Duvall. If Ron's still in here, tell us where. He's in Dakota or something, isn't he? Isn't Ron?
Well, if you just started, shoot outside your bedroom window until you get good, then go on location.
Pretend you've got a broken leg.
Better not break your leg. Method photography.
But, yeah, there's a few guys here. Like Ron, definitely. I think Ron's probably one of the best astrophotographers in our group here. This is Ron, that bloke. Go and have a look on the Facebook page for Ron's photos, and there we go, South Dakota. There we go. That's where it is.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got some dark skies there. He's doing some sensational shots there with his phone. So there. The other thing is, and I've said it so many times in so many videos, look at lightpollutionmap.info and type in there and where you are, and it'll show your surrounds and the colors. The less color, the better. And then look at those places. It's pretty simple, really, once you know how. Vertical grips like portrait shots, like iPhone video. Not
so he's talking about a battery grip that you clip in the bottom of the camera, and then you can turn it, and it's got a shutter button there.
Oh, no, I don't use one of them. I'll shoot a whole wedding with my A7s, and I'll use 2 batteries, as in 4 batteries, so 2 for each camera for the whole wedding, not just the ceremony. Like before the wedding, the ceremony, the photo shoots, the reception. And I'll change that first battery out on both cameras when it's about half done, just so I don't run out. But it's the battery consumption on those. I think they're fantastic, and it's there's no need to carry extra batteries in another grip. I don't think anyway. But each to their own. See, Graham's holding the camera. Oh yeah, yep, I'm with you. Did you read that? Did you, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once I saw Graham's picture there, I knew exactly what he was talking about because I had one of them too.
Yep. I used to use one on the on my Canon gear, and this is one of those things that and what he's doing there. So Graham to me looks like in this photo here he's shooting a sporting event. So he is shooting. I'm just going to go out on a limb here, Graham. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's shooting a bucket load of photos of all these different participants in an event, and you're going to chew through that battery pretty quickly. That's probably why he's got it there. But I never, for weddings, I just, and that would be probably the most power consumption job that I do. I've never felt the need to do it, to be honest. And in the south,
lives in Georgia.
Is that Georgia? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't Georgia kind of rural as well?
There's a fair bit of rural areas in Georgia, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I would say jump on that lightpollutionmap.info and have a look-see. So, Greg, what's happening with the podcast?
Hang on, I got to hit the cough button.
There you go.
That's good. Well, we just had our 100th episode a couple shows ago, and it was a lot of fun. We had I had the old tiny shutter crew back on, and man, it was a laugh. It was a good time getting
really
back
was.
getting the band together with those guys again. Yeah. And then last week, Mike James came on, and we finished our series. We were doing a series called Picture Perfect, and it was a 7-episode series about how to help you improve with your photography. I know some of it's translated over to just photography in general, but the topic was developing your own unique style. And I thought, who better than Mike to come on and talk about that, because he's got the smartphone photography club and all that stuff, where he's got all these different courses and everything else. Mm-hmm. So he really added to the conversation really nicely. And it was the longest podcast we've ever done.
Oh, really?
It was.
Well, he's from Geelong, mate. He speaks slower.
It was it was an hour and 43 minutes. So it's the longest one.
Oh, I haven't listened to him yet.
Had some great feedback on it though, and you know, so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, the podcast is growing. I look at my listeners, listener counts from a year ago to now, and it's actually climbing quite nicely. And it's all organic. I'm not using anything to like the only promotion that I do is on X, I guess you can call it now, or Facebook groups and stuff like that. But I mean, it's doing all right. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the one with Mike James yet. But for those who are watching this, if you haven't listened to that 100th episode, and you found this conversation entertaining, go and listen to that. I remember I was waiting for this thing to come out. I was even messaging Greg like, where the fuck is this thing? I'm uploading it now.
I'm editing it and everything else to get these messages.
Because so at that point, I was at work on the farm, and I was driving around a quad bike, spot spraying thistles, and I just finished my book that I was listening to. I'm like, what can I listen to? The 100th episode. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. Greg, where the fuck is this thing? It's not there. I'm uploading it. But I can tell you now, I was driving around paddocks on this bike, pissing myself laughing. It was so much fun. It was a very, very, very entertaining episode, mate. You did well.
Ah, thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it was really good. This is what the conversation there is talking about, holding the camera vertically to get the portrait orientation photo.
Yeah.
Got to go. Plymouth. Dog keeps looking over, giving me the eyes to go. Yeah, you want to get out of there if the dog is giving you looks to go outside. Do you guys carry multiple? No. I carry multiple. I carry 7 cameras.
Oh, God. Oh.
Do you want to talk about that, Greg?
How long we got?
So
you should bring people into the joke here, Greg.
Okay. Yeah, our favorite YouTuber, Tony. Okay, our favorite YouTuber that we hate. No, there's a YouTuber. True. No, I don't.
He does some really good stuff with cameras.
I know. He just tries to talk about iPhone stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said he was. I forget even where I was going with this. He was talking about the 7 cameras and all this stuff. It doesn't have 7 cameras, whatever. I forget what all he said now. But the worst thing he said that drove me absolutely nuts was that, and this thing uses digital zoom to do all this stuff. And I thought, no, it's not all digital zoom. It's cropping the sensor. And you know what? I had a really good conversation on X with a guy who he shoots Leica, I think. He shoots with a Leica Q2 or whatever it is. And it was a very friendly, and I mean, if I was to meet this guy in person, I'd shake his hand and say, that was fantastic, because it was a really good conversation where I said, I put something out there about the fact that it's cropping the sensor and it's not digitally zooming. So what I'm talking about, folks, is this: in the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, they have these different focal lengths that you can get from the main camera. So you've got 24 millimeter, that's the whole thing. And then you can go into 28 millimeter and 35 millimeter. And so the 7 different ones starts right from macro, goes through those ones, then goes to the 48 millimeter, and then the other one is either the 3X or the 5X out of the telephoto camera, depending on which phone you got. And it was all these ones on the main camera that I'm talking about. So it's the 24, 28, 35, and 48. These different focal lengths. And I don't believe that they're digitally zooming. They're just cropping the sensor for each one at a different place. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more going on than just that, because you're getting 24 megapixel files out of these things. And that's all done through computational magic and blah, blah, blah. But digital zooming is when you zoom and you stretch the image beyond what the sensor is capable of, in my opinion. When you are anywhere between that 24 and 48 that sensor is capable of giving you, you're just cropping out the unneeded pixels around the outside, and you're getting a, and the focal length, you're getting different focal lengths because you're basically just imagine taking that sensor out and putting a smaller one in. You know, it's like you got a full frame Canon camera, you take that sensor out, you put a 1.8 crop sensor in. Well, you're changing the field of view on an assumed same lens. Okay. So we're not changing the optics, we're not changing the glass, we're not changing the lens. You're just taking that sensor and you're using a different size, in air quotes here, different size sensor each time. And that is changing how the field of view shows in relation to the available glass in front of the camera. That is just cropping the sensor. That ain't digital zoom. So this guy I'm talking about, you saw his picture on there earlier with Elmer Fudd going boom, boom, boom. That guy is so full of shit. His eyes are brown.
Oh,
we've got him rolled up now.
Wow.
I said that just
wow. That's tame for me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but from me though.
Oh, from you, it's like potty mouth.
So,
wash his mouth out.
So if you could see my point, agree. But so there's banter on X. This guy kept saying it was digital zoom, and then over the conversation, it went over about 2 or 3 days at different times a day, whatever. You know, he basically said, okay, so we're basically talking the same thing. You call it cropping, I call it digital zooming, but it's the same thing. And yeah, you know, so, you know, handshake emoji, conversation over. And and it was a good time talking with this guy. But I just don't think it's digital zooming. I really don't.
Yeah. When when I first started into doing photography on a serious sort of basis, I watched a lot of Tony Northrup stuff, and he really does know what he's talking about. And then he started doing stuff with phones as well, and it became very evident that, and this happens with a lot of photographers, I think. I know all about DSLR photography, therefore I know all about all photography, and that's just simply not the case. Phone photography is different. It just is.
Sure it is.
And it's very evident when you listen to where he did it with the 14, I think it was. And he was talking about this photo's a 4 megapixel photo. It's not, dickhead. It's absolutely not. And it was just so fundamentally wrong in what you were putting there. Like in my head, I was like, you need to release another video and just say, hey, I was wrong in doing that, because what I was telling everybody and laying down all this dirt, it was just wrong. It was factually incorrect. And he didn't learn, because this year he's done the same thing. He did a video with 5 things that I hated about Apple or hated about this phone or something like that. I think it was about the phone. Was the video titled "Things I Hate About the Phone"? I have to have a bloody look now.
Could have been.
Tony Northrup, iPhone 14. Oop. Haven't searched for this before. Bear with me 1 second, just while I find. I can't see it.
Maybe you took it down.
The truth, 15 Pro, iPhone 15 Pro cameras, misleading and disappointing.
Yeah, that's the
one. Yeah. And you watch the video and you go, that's wrong. That's wrong. And like one of the things that you don't like about this camera was the marketing, the environmental bullshit that we've all spoken about on this here before. It was like, that's got nothing to do with the camera. That's just Apple virtue signaling. It's got nothing to do with the camera. But yeah, it looks like his wife has put out another one. Her iPhone camera has failed her again. Anyway, We'll talk about that one maybe next
I
week.
I wouldn't watch that one because I want to keep my TV.
But look, he does, credit where credit's due. He does actually do some really cool stuff and very informative stuff with cameras and with like Photoshop and things like that. But yeah, it's when it's come to phones, I think he's kind of just stay in your lane, dude. It didn't.
Yeah, maybe he's a camera snob. Maybe he's a camera snob, and that's just his way of throwing shots at mobile.
Yeah, maybe it's just one of those things. I think that you're showing your ignorance when it comes to how the phone cameras actually work. Anyway, that was Greg was in a really bad place there for a while. Like he was really angry. What about you, Dale? What do you got going on this weekend, man?
Not much this weekend. I think the AFL games tonight, so it'll be fun. Watch the football.
Yeah, apparently. Yep.
Apparently. Anyway, anything for beers. Yeah, with mates. Yeah,
go local sports team.
Woo! But a week and a half, I'm going out camping to test that new iPhone out in Border 1 area, Barrington Tops, which is just middle of nowhere. It'll be great. I can't wait to finally shoot those stars.
Yeah. Somebody here posted a sorry, go on, Greg.
I was just going to ask Dale, are you going to put an external drive on your phone to store the images?
I think I should have enough, but I can take one potentially. I'm definitely going to take a lot of external batteries because I'll no doubt be running out of juice quite a lot.
Yeah, well, make sure the drive is formatted right because apparently, there's certain ways you have to format these drives to work on that. Yeah, and I think it's exFAT. I think is the format that it needs to be for writing directly to the drive.
To answer this comment here, it's just a moon phase. Like I wouldn't normally go out and shoot anything in the sky at this time of the month. There's too much moon pollution, moonlight pollution. Give it another week and a half to 2 weeks, and you'll be sick of it. there'll be plenty there. Yes. Ohio skies. Hopefully that explains what I just mentioned. Yeah, didn't you see it? It was awesome. Hold on, let me just show you this again. How good's that? Now I hold it like this. There you go. If I hold it just a little bit, you can see some definition. Yeah.
So there should actually be very little moon, visible moon when I get my phone. So I guess probably do it.
Macro
of the moon. Well, I'm gonna definitely take a drive out in the country and see what kind of stuff I can get with the stars.
There's one of it not zoomed in. That's just the regular 5x zoom. Yeah, it's yeah. Wait till you see my video on how to photograph the moon with this sucker. Yeah, you just have to wait. So I'm kind of taking the piss out of Apple a little bit here, but you'll see. Some sort of eclipse. I haven't heard about that. Do you guys know about that? Jireg?
No.
Yes, I believe there is supposed to be, but I think it's a solar eclipse.
Actually, somebody asked me.
I don't believe it's going to be visible from where I am, anyway.
Okay. I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I'd have to have a look. Now, anything more, guys?
No, I think that sums it up pretty good.
Or shall we call it a day?
Let's do it.
I guess
we're calling it a day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks everybody for playing along.
Oh, look at you being so nice. I'm just saying goodbye. You Canadians are so thoughtful.
I'm sorry.